Welcome back to the Cortado Pause, the podcast where I talk to former high-level athletes or not athletes or literally anyone that I feel like talking to. We talk about sports, we talk about life after sports, during sports. Literally, we just shoot the shit over a Cortado that they make and I rate. On today's episode, we actually have my brother, Anthony Pacella, on, which I knew I wanted him on at some point. And today was the perfect day. Our schedules matched up. So I'm excited to have you on, Anthony.
I'm excited to be here. It's been a while. I thought you were never going to have me on.
I couldn't start a podcast about former high-level athletes with someone who...
I wasn't a high-level athlete?
No, you were an athlete. You are an athlete.
Correct.
But you weren't a high-level athlete.
No, I was high grades.
High what?
High grades.
High grades, so was
Yes. Better than you. I got a scholarship. Well, you did too.
I got a full scholarship.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah, okay, well, I had to study, you didn't.
I had to study as well.
Not really.
Yeah, I didn't really have to study
exactly.
in the States. But I'm excited for this conversation because I feel the last time we had a deep conversation, we were sitting in a restaurant in Barcelona and you were convincing me to go to New Zealand. And that was probably over 6 months ago. So it'll be cool to...
Yeah. Tell the viewers that we don't talk, it's 6 months.
No, but like we both have busy schedules.
Yes, I get it.
We don't sit down and have deep talks at home. It's just like not how our housing living environment. It's not how we grew up. Mm-hmm. But so this is exciting. But before we do anything, we gotta go take our Cortado pause. Ready?
I'm excited.
Let's go. Even though you're a barista at Starbucks, I know for a fact there wasn't a Cortado on the menu at Starbucks.
It didn't exist, but I used to make all hearts and shapes.
No, you didn't.
I swear, I used to make hearts on my drinks.
All you did was steal the syrup and bring it to our house.
Well, let's not broadcast that. But yes.
What are you gonna do? I think the statute of limitations over by now.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll beat all your other guests with the drinks, so you'll see.
Do you even know like what it consists of?
I don't need to know what it consists of. I will just do it.
What do you mean you don't need to?
Espresso with milk.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, but there's certain techniques.
Yeah, okay.
Try to do a heart. Are you gonna be able to do a heart?
Yeah, I will. I know exactly how to make the milk in a way that it will froth it. Well, actually, we used to actually have a frother.
Yeah,
no, this we're using modern times. So do I just make it or not?
Yeah, make it. What was your Starbucks order when you used to work?
When I first started, it was a very fatty drink.
What was it?
It was like some cappuccino, but then I actually, when I first started working at Starbucks, I didn't actually drink coffee.
Yeah.
So I'd have everything but coffee. And then I slowly started drinking coffee. And then I realized that I didn't like sugar much, or I saw how much sugar they would add in. So I started having sugar-free syrups, which is still really bad for you. And then I started just having a half a shot. What was it? It was a grande latte with half a pump of hazelnut. And now when I have my coffees, I don't have any sugar. So
That took 5 minutes to tell me what his order was. What was it towards the end? It was that, the grande latte with a half pump of whatever you said?
Hazelnut, get it right.
Hazelnut? What was was there a crazy order that...
Yeah, 500 million orders. Okay, so wait.
But any orders that come to your mind? What did you do different? You said you know the technique on how to froth it. I don't see any difference.
Well, I don't know, but I'm not used to this, so it was...
It's ours. We have it.
Yes, but I'm saying at Starbucks... Actually, do you have a spoon? Give me a spoon. I was a fat barista.
Fat? Why do you keep saying fat?
Good. Oh, shit.
What's happening? Are you spilling?
Look, it's a heart, bitch.
Oh. It's not bad.
Yeah, exactly. So what you need to do is you need to actually pour the milk straight into so that...
It's going everywhere.
But you need to like... But you see, it's harder because...
Yeah, it's little.
But not even little.
Like you have to pour it in the middle, and then you could actually shape it and be a heart.
No, it's fucked up, but you saw it in the beginning.
It's not bad.
Yeah, thanks.
Are you gonna make yourself one?
Yeah.
Decent.
Let me see.
I like how you brought it to the rim.
Exactly.
Were you watching my past episodes?
No. I skipped the Cortado part.
You didn't even watch 1 second.
I did. I just said I...
No, you didn't.
Your other guests don't interest me. Except for Sam. Sam I love. That's all on milk I work with? Okay.
There's a lot left.
Oops-a-daisy.
Let me get Scott towel. Ew. There's cats that go in here.
Ew, don't tell me that now. I'm going to throw up.
Are you gonna make another heart?
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, so how many years did you work at Starbucks?
One too many. I'm kidding. It's actually a good job if you go to school.
You got paid like $15 an hour.
But they pay your tuition.
They paid you tuition.
Yeah, I swear. If you work a certain amount of hours, and this looks like a blob.
Why are you dripping it like that?
I don't know.
You trying to make a heart?
Today we're gonna do a flower because I'm gay. But it ain't looking like anything at this point. So you saw it on camera. You got the first time. I like my milk frothy.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. It's like a blowjob shot. It doesn't fit.
Mine's more milkier than yours.
Look how good this
Look at this
is.
side though. Come on. Let's go. Off the bat, the heart was pretty impressive, not gonna lie. But yours, you just put so much froth, which just breaks the whole integrity of a cortado.
That's correct, but I like my milk. I like my coffee.
I like my milk.
I like my coffee with extra milk. So I made yours the right way and mine my own way.
Cheers.
Cheers. I love shots. Oh, actually, I don't like hot shots, but it's good. How was it?
It's good. It's just a little milky. Like I'm missing that coffee taste, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. How I would rate it, I'm gonna devour it 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't say it's better than Brandon's or Wesley's, to be honest. So I don't even know who's who now, but I would probably rank it. I don't know, is it better than Sam's? It might be. No, it's not better than Sam's. So wherever Sam was, I think it's Brandon, Wesley, Jake.
Oh, okay.
Jake's was somehow really good. James remembers. Max. And then you're somewhere in between there and
Basically
with Sam.
last.
No. I've had a few guests.
Were bad?
No, yeah. There was a few guests that were bad. But this isn't bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just I'm missing some coffee flavor.
I understand.
All right, so let's get into it because we have a lot to talk about and kind of a different topic than what we usually talk about. But that idea of identity still revolves in around your life, my life, maybe in different facets. But I just want you to take back the viewers on your athletic career. We mentioned it wasn't high level,
No.
but you did play. So just talk about that a little bit.
Well, I was the firstborn of the family. That came with high expectations, especially knowing that daddy was all about sports. He put me in soccer at the age of 4. I think compared to you, he was always my coach. I guess that was his way to keep me in the sport in a way. So, I did play AA, never went past that. Maybe I honestly shouldn't even have played AA if it wasn't for daddy coaching me. But I'm happy I did play sports. I think it did taught me a lot. And I played soccer, and then you wanted to do karate, and then I continued karate. You gave up instantly. What else? I did dance as what was it called at Lauren Hill? And you had to pick between what class you wanted to take. And it was between art, drama, or dance, and I picked dance. And I loved dancing growing up. used to dance to Ricky Martin. But I don't know, I just always loved dancing. And I was in the dance show every year and everything. So I played a bunch of sports. I think that kept me healthy and stuff. And then I stopped playing when I was 22.
Just look at my eye.
Oh my God.
Sorry, go on.
And then I stopped playing at 22 in university. And yeah, so I played from 4 to 22, which is pretty long. And, Salaberry, Saint Laurent. And then now I just train at the gym, so.
At any point when you played soccer, and I never asked you this, did you ever like think about playing professionally? Maybe when you were younger.
No, I know it
You
wasn't
fun?
my passion. I didn't see myself in there. I wasn't even good enough. I don't know. I just feel like I didn't care enough. When I was a 4-year-old kid, maybe this is a lot of kids, but I was a kid picking out flowers on the ground. I wasn't really playing, but.
When you grew older,
Yeah.
like you played for such a long time, but did you really even want to play at a certain age? I feel like
No.
maybe you were just playing because daddy was a coach.
There was moments that I enjoyed it, but I didn't like the constant routine of like playing 5 times a week and not being able to hang
No way
out.
you guys played 5 times a week.
We had practice 2 to 3 times a week, and then we played at least once. We were playing at least 4 times.
3-4 times.
It was so long, so like I couldn't hang out. And then I remember my biggest memory was like playing indoors during the winter, and like every Sundays we used to play. And I used to hate that because we used to come to Nana's house for like Sunday dinners, and like I would have to like leave here early because I had to go there. So yeah, so I think if it wasn't for daddy, I probably wouldn't have done it. I'm happy he did it because it kept me healthy. And it did teach me a lot about like discipline and about team sports. And I think like that's really important growing up. But yeah.
Do you remember what daddy was like as a coach? Because I don't remember.
Yeah.
Because he stopped coaching me when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I try to think back of how he was as a coach, and I don't recall whatsoever.
I mean, he barely remembered anyone's names.
Yeah, but he
So
still
he used
doesn't
to
know
make
anyone's
nicknames for everyone. But, he was a good coach. He wasn't like, you can't compare him to like what coaches are now. I feel like the game has also evolved in so many ways that even if you ask me like, if you wanted to be professional or go professional, like play at a higher level, when I was during my time, it was very rare. There wasn't that, like, your generation had more opportunities for soccer. Like us, we didn't. Like I could think about maybe like the one player that had it was Anthony Massey. He was the only player.
Where did you play?
He played for the Impact.
Oh yeah, you played at the academy for a little bit.
But that's what I'm saying. He was the only way. There wasn't this opportunities in soccer like there is now. So I think it's like now the upcoming generation, with everything that's going on, I think they have an increased chance of actually seeing a potential future, which makes them maybe want to pursue it more. For us, it was like we're just doing it just for fun. So
yeah,
I don't think there wasn't even that aspect of possibility for us.
And when you stopped playing at the age of 22, was it like just a relief that you were done playing, or were you was there any emotion tied to that retirement from playing soccer, or it's just like whatever, like I'm just never gonna play again? Because I'm pretty sure you never haven't kicked the soccer ball since.
Probably not. No, I think for me it was like.
I can't even picture you kicking a soccer ball, by the way.
Come on, relax. The only thing I hated doing was doing a header. The ball used to come my way, and I used to be like, "Oh my god, I want to hurt my head." That's all I used to hate. I used to hate that so bad. But no, I used to play defense. My big legs, I used to kill people when they come sliding and everything. I used to kill them.
I wish there was like
footage.
Footage.
Probably is footage somewhere.
No, there's not.
There's some footage probably. But no, like I enjoyed at one point I played with, which is why I made it which is what made it more fun. But no, like when I decided I was done with, I was happy because I just focused on other things, and yeah, to be honest, thinking about it, like I don't even know how I lost it till 22. So, but yeah, no, I bet I did, and I think it was something that, like, honestly, don't forget, it's funny because I came out when I was 22, but then I finished playing soccer when I was 22. So I feel like that was.
You were playing soccer at.
21, 22, yeah.
Are you sure?
I swear to God. I was
So when you
playing
came out at
Saint
22, you were still playing,
Laurent.
and Daddy was still the coach.
No, I'm saying like I finished and then I came out.
Oh,
Daddy
yeah.
wasn't the coach at the end. It was ended up being Jack. I was playing with Jack.
Oh yeah, I remember.
I played for Saint Laurent. I was playing with Jack, Tony Lala, whatever. So it wasn't Daddy at the end. Daddy stopped at the last few years.
Yeah, I remember
But he used
that.
to just be there. But yeah, just to say that, like, honestly, the funnest times I had was the road trips. Like when Abitibi, Tikashkamang, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And going to Ottawa, doing all these trips, like that was the funnest part. And honestly, if I think back at it, like most of my team was predominantly French. So I was always the outcast. So not only did I feel like an outcast with my sexuality, being in a very like heterosexual, masculine locker room, but then being like I was maybe one of the few Anglophones.
Yeah.
So I think that also too maybe didn't make me sad when I left, because I was like I didn't really feel connected to a lot of the players. So
Was that something that even when you were younger, maybe not like at 4 to 10 years
No.
old, but at a certain age, were you like, I'm a little bit different from these kids? I don't know if you realized
zero.
at the
My
time.
sexuality, no. But the only thing, like
Not that you're different, but like,
No, I think the only thing that, well, obviously people that are not gay don't know this, but you teach yourself not to look at certain things. So like, AK, you're in a locker room full of men and you're attracted to men. You, at a young age, you teach yourself like not to look because that's bad, or like it's not like you don't want to be gay, and it's like that whole alter conflict within yourself. So yeah, no, I think that was the biggest part, like, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
so was that always a constant battle where you're like,
No.
I don't want to be gay? Like when you're younger,
Yeah.
I don't want to be gay? Because for me, it's
yeah.
like, even if I try to be gay, I can't be gay.
Yeah, obviously, it's not, you don't choose to be gay, you're just born gay.
I know, but I can't even imagine like the thought process of being like, I don't want to be gay. I don't want to be gay. So
Well,
is that like a
Yeah.
battle that?
Yeah, it was a battle. It still is a battle for so many people. I mean,
I'm
now,
sure it is.
No, I'm saying like now, like once you accept it, you accept it. But growing up in a very old-fashioned Christian household, well, we were religious. We used to go to church all the time. Maybe you don't remember, but we used to go to church on Sundays. We went.
We're
to
not that
catechism.
Christian.
But what do you mean? I was more Christian. I was more religious than you. I read a passage of the Bible every night.
Yeah, true.
I used to pray every night. I was very religious. So
Yeah, you're right.
Religion aside, that had nothing to do with like bothering me with my sexuality. I think it was just like fearing the leap of coming out to the world. Like here I am, everyone knows me for something as StrikeOut, and then I didn't want to be known for being. I didn't want to be known like as Anthony Pacella, the gay man. I wanted to be known as Anthony Pacella, the founder of StrikeOut Cancer, which is why for such a long time on my platform, I never really was outspoken about my sexuality, because I didn't want it to be the main focus. Like I didn't want it to be my image.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can relate to that because my whole life I'm Daniel, the soccer player, and now I get to a point where I'm not really. Yes, I'm still Daniel, the soccer player, but I am not a professional player. Not what I thought I was gonna be. So dealing with that, albeit in different fashions,
Yeah, for
I could
sure.
relate to that identity part, because your whole life your name is tied to something, and then you're like, now it has to change. But I've learned in other podcasts and talking to people that even though you want to be Anthony Pacella, the founder of StrikeOut Cancer, or Anthony Pacella, the gay guy, or Anthony Pacella, whatever, in the end, you're just Anthony Pacella.
No, obviously. But at the end of the day, you're still known for something. Like, as much as you don't want it to be, you're just not only Daniel Pacella, and I'm not just Anthony Pacella.
Yeah, but within yourself and to the people that matter to you,
Now,
you are
they know
Anthony
who
Pacella.
you are. Yes, I get it. But
To me, you're Anthony Pacella, regardless.
obviously, because you're my brother, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't want to be known for just one. Like, I didn't want to be known just for that. But at the same time, I realized, like, why am I not hiding, but why am I not being so outspoken with who truly I am? Because, like, everyone's story is different, but maybe my story can inspire someone else to come out.
Yeah,
You know?
I think, and I'm sure it has.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we're all known for something. It's just like how you decide to live your life and portray yourself to the world.
And what kind of made you take that leap of faith at 22 to be like, hey, I'm gonna come out?
It wasn't that easy. I bet some man pursued me. Some man I'm still friends with. I'm kidding. No, I'm not joking. But someone saw me on Panorama Italia. Shout out to Panorama. He made me come out.
No, but more so within yourself.
No,
like,
it was not like a simple like, hey, today I'm 22 years old, let's come out.
I know, but
it was like, oh, hi, I'm 22 years old. Met a guy who happened to be gay. We became friends. Slowly, I'm understanding that like everything I'm holding back is coming out, and I'm happier this way, you know. And then this person decides to pursue me, I guess, subliminally knowing that I'm gay. So it's not a, hey, today I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, I'm gay. Like, I didn't want to be gay, like I said, which is very sad to say, but I used to pray every night that I wouldn't be gay. I wasn't fully accepting of myself. But then when he kissed me and I felt a beard, I had a panic attack. And then I don't know, just like slowly I realized like, yeah, this is who I am, and why should I hide it? You know, I wish I came out a lot earlier in my life, but I didn't know. I didn't want to accept it, and that's it. But it's 8 happy years of being gay. I'm kidding.
And 22 happy years of
22 happy years of not being who I am.
Straight.
Yeah. I don't know.
But back to, maybe I didn't ask it properly, but what made you be like, hey, now I'm going to tell the people that I love that I'm gay?
I think,
and obviously, like, it was going to come out at some point, but what gave you the courage to do it at that time?
I think not doing it alone. So I think coming out, whatever, I came out as like bisexual, whatever you want to call it, fluid, whatever, just because it was like the easy word to use at the time. But then also having like my ex support me, going through the process, I think that pushed me to do it. But I knew my family was going to be okay with it. So I knew that wasn't going to be a problem. I think I knew everyone was going to be accepting of it. The only one that I was worried about was dad, just because, like, you know, born in Italy, traditional European, different. But, you know, he came around. He's the best. And, you know, he accepted me for who I am. And I think a lot of parents, you know, should accept their child, because it's not like a choice. So
how did you think I was going to react?
I knew you wouldn't care, and your reaction just was exactly that. So, you know, I don't like I wasn't worried about anyone else. Like, I knew we had an open-minded family. So I'm thankful that that's what I had, because I know a lot of families, I know a lot of friends that don't have that same privilege. So.
Yeah. I remember we're sitting on the couch in the basement.
Exactly.
And you're just like, can I talk to you? I was like, what? No. I was joking. I didn't say no. I was like, what? Why does my brother want to talk to me? Just found it so serious, because we never want to talk serious.
Yeah.
It's rare we have serious talks like this one. And you're like, I think I might be bisexual. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yep.
And then I went to bed. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I went up to bed.
No, I think you're missing the best part of the story though. You also did say that like, no, your response actually was, I don't care what you are, like.
I said that.
Yeah, like you said, like you're my brother, so it doesn't matter as long as you're happy. So
I said that.
Yeah, I swear. I remember what everyone. Honestly, that's one thing I remember what everyone said to me. So, like, it's just like a vivid memory that I think I will always remember.
Yeah, and I could just imagine how tough it was. Like I remember a little. Like obviously I remember it, but I didn't feel like what you felt, and like probably the angst and anxiety of having to especially tell daddy.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think the whole family, we supported you, and I'm sure you knew that we were all going to support you. I just want to take it back, and you mentioned how being the first child, and there was a little bit of pressure of being an athlete because daddy loved soccer and he put us into sports. Was there ever times where, like obviously growing up, I was higher level than you, and was there ever times where you felt like pressure to try and be better at soccer or sports in general because of my accomplishments?
No, I think you just added more pressure on me in the sense of like, daddy was like, look at Daniel, he's outside practicing with like against the wall, practicing this, practicing like that, and he's like, why don't you do that? And I was like, Dad, I don't care about it as much as Daniel. And I think it was just like, it wasn't like I didn't feel any different. Like I knew that was your passion, and like that made me happy, and if that's what you love to do, then so be it. But I think it was more for daddy, like always subliminally comparing us in the sense of like, look, Daniel's practicing, why don't you go practice? And it was just like, I don't care to practice, I want to do other things. So I think that was the only thing. But after a while, I think Dad just realized that, listen, like Ant's hopeless, so let me just pursue Daniel in sports because there ain't a future with him. So c'est tout.
Is there any like memory that sticks out to you that comes from my career? So watching me at any point or anything that just sticks out to you, whether that be like a important game that I had or just following me.
I mean,
because you were always like, you and Daddy always supported me.
Yeah, obviously. I think just like through everything, the ups and downs, your journey, like getting a scholarship to Vermont, and like I remember like when you decided to go, it was super exciting because it was an opportunity for you. At the same time, we were like obviously super sad because like the house was quiet, but
was it weird having your little brother leave and you staying in the house?
No, I didn't really look at it that way. It was more like just the fact that you weren't there, and I think COVID made it 10 times harder because like we couldn't see each other as often as we wanted, and like I think we wanted to go down to see you more, to see more games, and like we were very restricted in what we were able to see because of like the restrictions of the border. So I think even for you and for us, it just made the experience a bit different to what it should have been. But I'm honestly through it all like super happy that I grabbed that flight and came to see you in Spain. So I think that was fun. So yeah, no, I there's not one moment that just sticks out. I think there's a bunch of different moments. Like at the same time, like yeah, I know you feel like your identity was soccer, but you have to understand that like as we know, life isn't as it doesn't happen the way we always want it. And as much as like your dreams were to be that, it doesn't mean that like it ends here. You never know where it could bring you. You might end up in that field, but just not as an athlete playing soccer.
Yeah, but it's still like, even if I do, I'm still gonna be like, fuck.
Yeah, but it's not. But what you need to realize is it's not a failure.
No, it's not. But it feels
fail,
like it.
But yeah, but that's you. But you didn't fail. If anything, you surpassed every possible expectation, and like all odds were against you, but yet you still made it.
Yeah.
You know?
But I don't, even though I say I failed, I'm not saying that, like, I'm just being blunt about it. If I put into perspective, like, this is what I set out to accomplish. I set out to accomplish to play.
I understand.
Play pro as a career.
And you
I
didn't
failed.
get it. Yeah, I know. I understand that. But don't forget, in life, talent is not everything. And I think you need to have connections and you need to be lucky. And unfortunately, that's not two things that we have in our family. So that's why I'm telling you that you made it as far as you, like,
Throw it out. Those.
Well, but it's true. We're not lucky. We're not the luckiest. But
I would say we're lucky.
We're not the luckiest.
No.
Well, I'm just saying,
mom
like,
died, so
not
we're
even
the
mommy dying. I'm just saying, like, there's some people that, like,
but we're not the unluckiest.
I'm not saying we're the unluckiest. I'm saying that we don't always have luck on our favor. And sometimes we have to work 10 times harder than a normal person does to get what we want. And then that's not a bad thing, because I think that makes us more determined and puts our head straight. Like, I'm just saying that you should pat yourself on the back because you did a lot more than what some people do.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and I think that mom would be extremely proud that you've gotten to the point where you did, because, like, Dan, you had anorexia. You battled that. What? As a kid.
Orthorexia.
Sorry. You had orthorexia. You had Crohn's. And still with that, look where you went. People would have given up. People would not have been able to do what you did. So I think, like, you know, you have a story and you could inspire a whole bunch of kids that might have any of these things that they could pursue their dreams if they want.
Yeah, I agree.
You know,
I'm not saying I didn't accomplish things, but it's hard to see. It's hard to see those when you see the people that you played with and you played against, like, playing, and you're watching them and you're like,
I understand that, but it doesn't mean that they're gonna be.
No, it doesn't mean they're gonna.
Anything.
In 10 years they're gonna be there, and maybe in 10 years they'll be like, maybe in 10 years, maybe if I continue on a path and I do very well in my career, they're gonna be like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have played 5 years of professional soccer, making
100% making a bare minimum salary.
Yeah, and then after their career, they're not set up properly. But
like I said, everything happens for a reason, and you know, in 5 years you'll see maybe it all made sense.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll all make sense in the end. But if someone says, "Did you accomplish your dream?" in the end, I have to say I failed, which is okay, and I'm fine with that for now. I'm not. I just want to go back and talk a little bit about the identity portion, and now that you've opened up and you've accepted that you're gay, and people now, no one questions it. No one's like, "Oh, is he bi?" He's still straight. Everyone's accepted. How does it feel? Is it like a sense of relief now that you could fully just accept yourself and be Anthony Pacella?
Yeah, obviously. I think, like, I think I've fully been able to embrace who I am as a person, and I think, like, I'm not the same person I was before, which sounds weird, but I feel like it takes a toll on you mentally and emotionally. So I think, like, with time, you also adapt to be a different person. Like, just a lot changes, and it's a lot hard to put into words. But now being 30, you know, I think I'm at a. Yeah, no, I'm really happy that I did it, and you know, I think I wish I would have done it earlier, but it's not something honestly, I don't even know why I say that, because it just wasn't meant to, like, it just didn't align, and it just wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Yeah. And there's one topic that comes up very often on the show, and it's when athletes transition out of their playing career and they miss that sense of community that they had within their team. And I know the gay community is a prominent community. How does it feel? Like, do you really feel part of that gay community? Is it something that is like a brotherhood? Like, I know
Yeah, I know.
from my end, yes, it's a community, but I feel like it's very, very different compared to something like a team where everyone is like goes on the field and dies for each other. I feel like the community, although you guys will vouch for each other in certain scenarios, I feel like there is certain toxicity within it.
I mean, you're comparing a team of 20 to like a community of like thousands,
and
which
millions.
makes, I think, the more people there are, the more chance it will be toxic. But so I feel like because we come from a different background, because of my morals and how I grew up, when I first came out, I didn't feel like I could identify with the gay community. I think it was definitely a culture shock. And I think it was hard to like, so this is one thing about me, like even when I was younger, I didn't really care about being like everyone else. I never wanted to be like everyone else. And so in a team, I feel like there's always a leader in a group. And either if I wasn't the leader, I was never the follower. So I feel like I always felt like playing soccer, like I was always that outcast because like I didn't feel like the need to follow what everyone else wanted. Like if there was dares to do, like I didn't really care. Like I knew my boundaries and I knew what made me feel comfortable. So I feel like when I came out and like I saw what the community does, and like I don't need to go into detail with this, but I'm just saying like the nightlife, the open relationships and the drugs, the alcohol, the chatter, the gossip, all that, like I didn't identify with that, maybe also because all my friends were mostly heterosexual, so I wasn't close with the community, so I didn't know what was going on. So now, 8 years into it, like I still don't fully identify with them, like, but I think that's fine. And I think you don't have to, like, I feel welcomed and, but I just don't feel like I have to do what everyone else does. And like, till this day, like, I know my boundaries. I know who I want to surround myself with. And I think that's the most important part, like not feeling like you need to confine to pressure and to try things. If it's not what you want, it's not what you want. If you don't feel comfortable, that's fine.
Yeah, and I agree. And although, and not to talk bad on the gay community, but I feel like in a sense, it's very, very open. But if you don't align with everything that is in that community, I don't know, but I feel like you receive backlash. I don't know if that's true or not, but just in what I see from the outside, I have no ties to the gay community. I don't know anything about it, but that's what I see from the outside, that it seems so open, but if you don't align with those unsaid rules, then maybe you get backlash, but that goes against the openness of it.
No, I wouldn't say you get backlash. You definitely don't get backlash, but you'll definitely, like, it all depends on like who you are. Like for me, it's like, I don't care what people say. So even if they're like, you're so weird that you don't do this, you don't do that, and like they could say what they want. At the end of the day, everyone's gonna say what they want, if it's good or for bad. So I don't care. So for me, like, no, I don't really agree with that. But I think you just need to know who you are, and if it's the heterosexual community, if it's the gay community, there's gonna be level of toxicity in anything. So
yeah, it's true. And also, previously you mentioned your identity as being the founder of StrikeOut Cancer. And your story about that could be probably seen anywhere on social media. So like, I don't want to repeat how you started it and all that, but I do want to talk about where you see yourself in the future with that, because I think you've accomplished so much with it, and I personally think you've only tapped into what you could fully accomplish with it. I don't know if you have plans on what you see in the future for StrikeOut Cancer, but just...
Yeah, no, I think graduating right before COVID with like major marketing and management, I always thought, like I was always that one kid in the class in university meeting. Everyone's like, oh my God, I'm going in the profit sector. I can't wait to make money and work for the big six. That's what it's called, right? The big six? The big four?
Big four.
The big four? Okay.
For marketing?
No, but like I'm saying like just in general, like for the most part, that's what they want. And then I was like, I want to work for the nonprofit sector. So I think that was always my passion to work for the nonprofit. And then like COVID hit and like the nonprofits took a big hit, and it was just like stability wise, money wise, like I just didn't see it being long term. So which is why I continue working at Vanier, and now I'm doing marketing at Vanier. But no, I just feel like what people don't understand is how hard it is to get people to care about something. And especially when it's like, when you're asking people for money. You know, it's one thing if they get something for it. You know, like a lot of people will only do something if it benefits them.
Yeah.
And the hardest part here is like, I've been doing this for 15 years, and it's like every time I do something, I need to think about like how I could take my story in a way to like inspire.
Is that your cat?
No.
You like from Inspire?
And so like it's always hard to like every year try to take my story and try to inspire other people to want to give. At the end of the day, like there's so many causes, there's so many events out there, and it's just like, how do I get people to care about my cause and to care about StrikeOut? So I think it's like always trying to do things different, trying to like, I don't know, reinvent the wheel in any way to get people to like want to support. Also, I feel like I've always wanted to like build my profile, because I feel like the bigger the like pool of audience you have, the more people might care. You know, like the biggest influencers I find don't do anything with their following. Like it's like I wish I had a bigger following, because I want to be able to do more for the community, and I want to be able to like do good.
It would facilitate your causes.
I feel like it would just make it a lot easier, and I think it would be so much easier to get sponsors and to get people to come out for a good cause. So I think that's what I'm trying to do. And yeah, I forget that like, you know, I did have raised $250,000, which is still something, but I just wish sometimes I could do more.
First of all, I would say it's more than something. I think you should be very proud of how much you've raised and the people that you've touched. If you could imagine the perfect event in the future, let's say in 5 years, that StrikeOut Cancer is going to hold, how does that picture look in your head?
I don't know, like some sort of like insane gala that has like a lot of people there, and us raising like a shit ton of money. So
I personally think that it's very plausible for that to happen eventually, because there is galas that happen in Montreal that are fundraisers every year, and
for sure. No, like, it is right. I think it's just like I've kind of always been a one-man show, which I think makes it harder, because it's like I have only so many hours in a day to be able to like do everything. And I think like it would be possible to do something of that level. I think it's just like galas that do have that, have a committee, a pool of people that do. So I think that's something that like I want to branch out into, because like I sometimes tend to like want to have full control of everything because I have like high expectations of how I see things. But like this upcoming event that I'm doing with Francesco's, we're collaborating with like 2 people, and I already see like we all come from different fields in the world, and it's leading into something positive because we're having like newer sponsors that like I possibly don't have the connections to. So I think you've touched on a good point that I think it is possible to do something huge. I think it's just having the right people who care about the cause and want to like get you to that goal. So I just think like I need to gear my brain in a way to like realize that like I'm not a superpower. I don't have superpowers. I can't do everything and have a full-time job and, you know, make an event of 500 people possible.
Yeah. No, you can't. You don't have superpowers, and at a certain point, you're gonna have a team. You're gonna need to have a team or a committee that you work with. But I think StrikeOut Cancer as a brand and your story and everything that you've done leading up to now, you should have the goal, if you wanted to have something that's every year where people are looking forward to StrikeOut Cancer events and galas, because I remember when you used to do the galas every year, and those were super fun, and
Yeah, I know.
you used to do that by yourself at a young age. So imagine now with the following that you have and the people that you know and the network, I think it would be amazing.
You'd be surprised though. You'd be surprised how like a lot of people like
People don't want to spend money anymore.
Yeah, people don't care. Like people like I don't know. It's funny because like give an example. There's like an event happening in like any type of event. People are gonna willing to spend like whatever dollars for whatever reason, and it's not even for anything good. And then here I am like practically begging people to come to my event. It's like $35, like come and you're gonna get free food and it's gonna be a good time, and it's like, and people just don't care. So
Yeah, but that's just,
it is what it is.
people are selfish. I'm selfish, you're selfish, but yeah, it kind of sucks that people would rather go and spend $35 on 2 drinks somewhere than $35 and actually
For
spend it for a good cause and have a good time, because it's always a good time. But that's just the reality of
For sure.
of
Of
trying
life.
to build a fundraiser.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's when I was younger and I used to watch you do the fundraisers, I used to be like, this is pretty sick, and I never really thought about all the work that you had to put in through it. And then I was always like a guy in the background, never really trying to help out, but hopefully moving forward and I could help out in more ways. I was always the raffle guy. But eventually I'd like to help out in more ways than just selling raffle tickets, and hopefully like be a part of that committee too.
For sure.
That you built.
For sure. With your field of the world that I'm not in, so you know you have connections now.
Yeah, no, and it'll be cool.
Definitely.
But I think like you said, being now that you came out, you have your identity as you have multiple identities now.
Yeah.
You're Anthony Pacella. To me, you're Anthony Pacella. You're my brother. To James behind the camera, you're Anthony Pacella, his cousin. To the world, you might be Anthony Pacella, founder of StrikeOut Cancer. To other people, you might be Anthony Pacella, gay guy at Renard.
Oh my God.
If someone doesn't know you enough.
Yeah.
But in the end,
Let's not air that part.
why? It's part.
Yeah.
It's part of the gay village.
Anti-gay Pacella Renard, but yeah.
But for some people that just know you at Renard, they're Anthony Pacella, the guy at Renard.
You make it sound like I have a seat at the table at the counter over there.
No, but I'm just saying, like.
Yes, I understand. I'm also Anthony Pacella, the single.
Yeah.
Looking for a husband.
Yeah, or Anthony Pacella, Vanier marketer.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the end, it all comes back to you just being Anthony Pacella.
Anthony Jonathan Pacella.
Anthony Jonathan Pacella.
And also people know me as AJ.
Family knows you as AJ.
Yeah. Or Papi.
Come on. But if we go back to soccer, I think you coming to Spain is as memories between brothers is one of the coolest that we've had, because
Definitely.
I don't think would have ever went on vacation, just me and you, if
I mean,
it's possible, but wasn't in our plans. So
No,
I
obviously.
think being able to see a different part of the world together was a sick experience. Being
yeah,
able
definitely.
to
I also think that like you being away for such a long time, and I think like us having like an age gap of 5 years, I think like when I remember like when I was 18, you were 13, so we were at two different phases. I wanted to go out, you still wanted to play.
no, you still want to go out.
And I'm at 30, I still want to go out, and you want to stay home. So hey, it never changes. No, but I'm just saying, I feel like the age gap also like.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah,
5 years.
It's just not. I
Not
feel like
difficult.
it's not difficult. I just think that like it just like we've always been at different phases in our lives. But I think now that we're older, I think we have more in common because, we're more settled in and stuff. So it's nice.
Yeah, you're right. We've always had, like you said, we're always 5 years difference. When you were in university, I was
That's what I'm saying.
when you graduated elementary school.
Yeah.
I
always
just
been-
started elementary
exactly,
school.
so
When
I've
you
always
graduated
been-
high school, I just started high school. So we've always been in exactly different periods of our
Yeah,
life.
I've always been like the next phase ahead of you. So, which I think is nice because I feel like you have someone to like ask questions about. So
No, and you were always probably the perfect role model for me, because
thank you.
God forbid you were doing drugs or hanging out with a bad group of friends, I would have 100% would have done the same. And
Yeah.
who knows, like, if I would have accomplished anything, because in the end, you become like the people that you surround yourself with,
Yeah,
and you
for
always
sure.
surrounded yourself with good people. And I saw you do well in school, so I had to do well in school. I saw you be respectful and have great manners and be a great guy, and that's how I wanted to be too, because I looked up to you as my older brother. So you always set a great example for me, and that probably translated into my leadership skills.
For sure.
Even though I never thought that I would be a captain of all the teams that I was, I ended up being captain, and
Yeah, I think it's in our blood.
yeah. And I saw you were always a leader within your friend group, so
And psychologist.
yeah, always a psychologist of his friend group.
And my phone's always ringing.
Yeah.
on pause
Does
now.
it get tiring
I
being the psychologist of your friend group?
think it used to be, but that was more when I used to put others before me. Then it's just like, okay, like I can't deal with everyone's bullshit. Sorry, I love everyone, but at a certain point, like it's just like you can't, like you need to care for yourself and put yourself first.
Yeah.
That's what I learned with age. And I think I had like losing mom at a young age, I had a shit ton of insecurities and problems and stuff. So fear of losing people, fear of missing out, fear of a lot of things. So I feel like I always did extra because I feared a lot of things. So
How was it? Like, I know how it was to lose my mom at 10 years old. And I always say that I'm glad that I was so young, because I feel like it was easier. People could disagree with me or not, but I feel like it's easier that I was younger. Now, if you think about it, I've lived way more of my life without a mom than with a mom. You've just got to the point where
that's top point.
it's halfway. How was it, just trying to contrast how it was for me? Like, how was it losing a mom at 15?
I mean, I can't imagine what it is losing at 10, because I would never wish upon anyone losing a parent at any age. I mean, like, it's bound to happen, but I think, like, the older you are, like, I think the more grateful you should be, because, like, you've had X amount of years, like, for us, I had 15, you had 10. I mean, I guess, like, I could understand where you're coming from, where you're saying, like, maybe it was a bit easier for you because maybe your recollection of memories is limited.
Yeah, because if you think about the first 5 years of your life, I have no memories.
Yeah.
So I only have 5 memories with a
5
mom.
years. You said 5 memories.
5 years with having a mom.
Yeah, I guess, but I could understand that. I never really looked at it that way. I always looked at it like, I wish you would have had 5 more years like I did. So I never looked at it like maybe it helped you in a way. I don't know. But for me, obviously, like, I don't know, it was difficult because I do remember a lot.
And you had not that I obviously had a great relationship with mom, but not that I remember it as much as you probably do.
Yeah, I think what it is I remember more your relationship than you remember it.
Yeah.
So, but
I remember certain things we did, but if you tell me like how was mommy, like her personality, it's hard for me to say exactly how she was.
Yeah, obviously, because you're also
or
young.
her voice. Like you probably remember her voice more than me. Just like little things.
I mean, yeah, I guess it is what it is, but I do remember, like, I don't know, I remember a lot, but like, as you know, as I used to tell Dad, like, everything happens for a reason. Never ask yourself why things happen. And, you know, we have to be grateful that we did have that time with her. You know, it just is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, it is what it is. But if you could go back to those days when we first lost our mom, would you do anything different than maybe as an older brother or as a son or?
No, I think we were thrown into something that none of us knew how to handle anything, and I think we did what we could, and I think we came out of it pretty good, to be honest. You know, we never took a bad route and said, hey, I'm doing this because I'm grieving, or I'm doing this because I lost my mom. And I think that's something that I pat us all in the back, because like, we didn't let it be who we are. And I think that's important. Like, things happen to you, but like, if we didn't let it define us, you know, like, yes, we lost our mom, but I remember like losing mommy, and we went to school right away. We didn't take time. We didn't take time off. I'm saying we didn't take time off. People would have took 6 months off. We went back right into it, and I think that's something we thank Dad, because like, we always had a routine, and it was like we never stopped or paused our routine, and I think that's what made it a lot easier, because we were just going through every day doing a routine. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I think we each pursued our grieving in a different way, and we each like had a passion, and I think like that's the number one thing, is that grieving has its different shapes and forms and everything, and I think if you can attach it to a passion, I think that's the best way to go through it.
Yeah. I think the biggest difference between, and why I say being 10 years old, I was grateful I wasn't 15, because if I look back on it now, and that period when mom was in the hospital, when she was literally gonna die at any second, those days for me, if I look back on it, they're good memories for me, because we were all the cousins together having sleepovers. So the first thing I think about it is just hanging out with James. I got to hang out with James all day. I got to hang out with my cousins all day. And then at night, when they told me my mom died, that was the only sad part. But the rest of the time, like, only sad part. Yes, it was sad. I remember a few hours of me crying, but the rest of it is sleepover with James and Cassandra and Jana and Anthony and you. And then the next day they stayed with us, and then the next day they stayed with us. Yeah. So I was like, at being 10 years old, that's like heaven for me. Albeit my mom is dead.
But I think it's just because we were well surrounded, and I think we were we're a close family. So I think like that saved us. Not everyone has that opportunity to be like close with their cousins and close with their families and like have that presence in our lives. But I think it's just because like at 10 years old, like you don't know what's going on and maybe like you don't understand it fully. So like maybe that's what made it easier for you. But like for being 15, like, I mean, I knew everything that was going on. So it was a lot harder. I mean, mine is that I didn't know what cancer was. I didn't know what that was like until mommy was diagnosed.
Yeah, but you knew she was gonna die.
No, I didn't. I didn't know. I thought there was 5 stages to cancer. She was at stage 4. I thought there was gonna be a chance. There was never a conversation that we had that like it was said to me that mommy was gonna die. The only person that like everyone else knew that but us. And that wasn't something that mommy wanted us to know. I think mommy wanted us to know like for her it was like she wanted us to remember her fighting, and that was like what she wanted us to know for the rest of our lives. Like shit happens, you're gonna go through hard stuff, like but you're gonna continue fight and you're gonna I don't know, like hope and just work it through. So technically I shouldn't have to do treatment because they had given her the amount of time she had left. So she still wanted to show us that like never give up. So I didn't know. No, I didn't know she was gonna die. I mean, I didn't know anything. I didn't know what that was at 15 years old. Yeah, I'm older than 10, but it's not like what the world is now. Like 2011, like yeah, I Googled it. I Googled spots in lungs. I saw cancer. I didn't understand what that was. I was naive. I didn't really do my research to understand it. I didn't want to understand it. I wanted her just to beat it and be fine.
Yeah.
So
I had no clue she was gonna die. No one told me shit. I didn't know nothing. I thought she was gonna be fine.
Yeah, obviously, I think that was what I think they wanted to protect us. I think they didn't want us, like they wanted us to continue our routine, going to school and everything, and like in hopes that like a miracle was gonna happen. That miracle, like, you know, we were her miracle. She wasn't supposed to have kids. She wasn't even supposed to have one. They were practically in the process of adoption when they had me, and then it was like, okay, you had one. I don't even know how you had one. You're not gonna get 2. Then 5 years later, you were. So I think like they had 2 miracles in their lives, and I guess they're hoping for a third. And then unfortunately, the third didn't come. But yeah, no, I definitely didn't know. Like, and I'm happy I didn't know. So in a way.
I don't remember. Did you go and see her in the hospital before she died?
No. Daddy asked, do you want to remember mom the way you remember her, or do you want to come in and like say your final goodbyes? And I like, you know, having Melissa and Christina, like who had lost her dad at a young age, at 15 too, I think was or a bit younger, but like, you know, having them experience death in a different way, because there was like a sudden heart attack, and I had asked them like, what do you think I should do? Like I was looking for advice from other people, and I think I'm happy at that point in my life. Like I took I'm gonna write a letter and I'm gonna just remember mom the way she was, rather than going in the hospital and seeing like tubes and seeing her head shaved and like seeing her in that state. I think as much as like after the fact it was traumatic and like I had nightmares for God knows how long, I could just imagine like how more it would have been if I had seen her in the state she was in.
Yeah, but at least you wrote a letter. In the end, I probably should have wrote one. I didn't write one.
Yeah, I mean, I think once again, you're 10 years old, not fully understanding the situation. I think we all wrote a letter, by the way.
Yeah, but it sucks. Her son doesn't write her a letter.
No, but I think we all wrote a letter. Like I remember Cassandra.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone wrote.
I think Amanda, but you guys
probably
were young.
Me and James are the only ones that did.
I don't remember, but I'm just saying like we were so young. Like, well, what are you supposed to like? You didn't even know what was going on. Like it wasn't like you. Even at that, even if you would have wrote a letter, what the hell were you gonna write at 10 years old? Like, come on. Like,
I was pretty smart at 10.
I know. I'm not saying you're not smart. I'm just saying like it's not like every day that like a 10 to 15-year-old have to write like a goodbye letter. So like, anyways, I think mom didn't even want for us to come to see her in the state that she was in. So I think we did the right decision, and like remembering her like with the memories that we did have with her, and they were good memories. Like, so
Yeah, that's true. Last thing I want to talk about, I don't know if you remember life at 12 years old, at 25-year-old, my age. If you could tell yourself some advice at 25-year-old, at 25 years old,
yeah.
what would you tell yourself, and kind of that advice translated to me?
At 25 years old, do you think you're 45?
Me?
No, I'm just saying, like, at 25 years old, you think you're 45. Like, you think you have your whole life straight, like, figured out.
I don't.
No, but I'm just saying, like, at 25 years old, like, you think that in 5 years, like, this is going to be your plan. Like, this is what's going to happen. This is how your life is going to turn out in 5 years. Like, because the whole big, oh my God, I'm 30 years old. Like, you need to have your shit together. Like, that's not how it works. Mm-hmm. So, honestly, my advice would be take things take things as they come, have a plan, have an idea, but it most likely won't be the way you think it will be. And like 30 years old is still young. So I think like in this generation of being in 2025, people get married older compared to the past. People don't have kids as young. And I think that's fine, because I think they're still in your 20s. It should be years of like exploring, experiencing, enjoying, having fun. Because if you're not going to do it in your 20s, you're never going to do it again.
So you tell me to have fun?
Have fun in the sense of life and whatever you may want it to be. But I'm just saying, like, in your 20s, it should be the years of experimenting. Like, when it comes to job, when it comes to like opportunities, when it comes to like travel, like do it now. Because if you're not going to do it now, what are you going to do when you're in your 30s having a family of 5 when you're ain't going to do nothing? Mm-hmm. So I think like for me, it was like, I remember when I was like 21 years old, I don't know who the freak I thought I was. Like, oh my God, like you're every year, well, you should be maturing and you should be evolving as a person. So I think that's the number one goal. But there's no like set plan. Just have goals, be ambitious, and just aspire for more.
Yeah, and I think if there's one thing that we're good at, and you've mentioned it, is that we work hard. And
yes, and I think if you don't work hard, then like.
But I think it's
you're not going to achieve anything.
It's innate in our blood to be hard workers.
Exactly.
And I saw that my whole life in my soccer career, and I could say that, and I could say this with a fact, and people could probably say that's true, that probably 95% of the players that I played with that went on to play professional did not work as hard as I did. And I take a lot of pride in how hard I work and in whatever I do, and I think you're like that as well. Mm-hmm. So I think whatever we kind of put our minds to, we will achieve it or achieve things.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
And that's something that we owe to Daddy, we owe to ourselves.
100%.
And I think it's going to be cool to see where we end up in 5 years.
For sure. And I think at the end of the day, we sometimes need to take some time and reflect on like how far we've come, and not to feel pity for ourselves, but like we didn't have things always that easy for us. And hey, I think we grew up to be great people, and I think like I'm proud of what you've accomplished. I'm proud that like no matter what has happened, like you've done great things. And like just this podcast alone, like it's a way of like inspiring other people. So I'm proud of us. I'm proud of our family, and I know for a fact that, like, you know, Mom's proud of the men that we've, I would say, evolved, but the men that we've grown up to be.
Yeah. And I want to thank you for coming on and probably inspiring a bunch of people in your own way. And although it's not obviously the demographic that this podcast is enlisted in, I think your story and your struggles with identity and sexuality and sports and all this is inspiring to many people.
Yeah, I know. And, like, you know, I just want to say that, like, I feel like in the world there should be, especially in sports, I feel like there should be more openness to sexuality. And I think, like, we will see a time where, like, it will definitely be more open in professional sports. And I think, like, that should be a subject. I think more people should be talking about that because, like, yes, I'm gay, but I always been athletic. And I think, like, there's this connotation that those two don't go hand in hand. But I'm happy, like, here we sat down and had a conversation and, you know, maybe inspiring the next generation of kids that, like, you could be gay and you could play sports. Like,
yeah,
they work hand in hand. So,
is there anything else you wanna plug before we finish off?
No, I'm honored to have been here and to be able to share my story, and I thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on. Love you.
Love you.